All right, so this one's pretty tough. Principal application, formal logic is involved here. So diagramming is useful. I've mapped out the stimulus and then its contrapositive. So it's especially confusing because there are multiple variables going on here and conditionals as well. Conditional indicator in the principal, in the stimulus. Great question. Yeah, so LSAT gets pretty clever and creative with their question types sometimes. I do think that the correct answer here is in fact doing it 100%. So I think of this as sufficient assumption. We've got the general principle in the stimulus, then the application, which is simply a conclusion, and we're looking to insert essentially a sufficient assumption. So in this case, our conclusion that we're looking to justify is not by. What would do that? Not liking the piece, or not being certain of the authenticity. Either one of those alone would be enough to get the job done. And so I would be scanning through the choices, looking to meet one of these two criteria. Does that address the question? And then one thing to be aware of also is the and versus the or. The stimulus, we have and when you're taking the contrapositive of a conditional, and becomes or becomes and. Question?
Yeah, so is it, when you do the contrapositive, is the or kind of inclusive in that, let's say there's an answer choice that had both, so she didn't like the piece, and she also was not certain, that would be the right answer choice.
Great question, yes, correct. So in logic, the word or is always inclusive. Or includes the possibility of both. You need to have simply one of the two, but having both would also be fine. Not just for the value of the investment, is saying that doesn't really matter. It's filler. It's filler.
Yeah, that's so weird, yeah. I saw it, I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's saying that alone is not enough. You need these, like, you want to have these other things. Saying that alone, that part of it doesn't really matter. Take it or leave it, not a big deal. We're looking to go beyond that. Desirable for intrinsic qualities basically means that she really likes it. So buy it only if confident of authenticity and desirable for intrinsic qualities. I simplified it to just say liking the piece, period. And then to address your question about the answer choices, a lot of the wrong answers are referencing this investment piece, which at the end of the day doesn't really matter. It's there to throw you off. It's kind of like a red herring. And so what we're looking for in our correct answer is one of these two things at least.
Can you just replace application with conclusion here and then kind of treat it as sufficient assumption?
Yeah, you could, exactly. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. That's pretty much what I'm doing, yeah. So the principle is the general framework in overall, and then the application is the conclusion alone with that specific piece. And so they are, in this application, they're missing the evidence. Some applications will include the entire thing. This one doesn't, though. And so when they're asking us what helps to justify it, because at the moment we need something to, because right now nothing is at all. That conclusion is stated there. Matilda should not buy, with no evidence at all given. And so one of these two things at least really should be added to the application, which would be essentially a sufficient assumption. Yeah, great question. So anyone have thoughts on the correct answer? What's doing that? Yeah, E? Yeah, excellent, perfect. So E saying at the very end, cannot be examined closely or authenticated. So yeah, we're not certain of the authenticity. If we learned that, that would guarantee, or at least most help to justify the application that Matilda should not buy. Nice. Well done. And so yeah, I would recommend diagramming this one. Yeah?
So I just wanted to mention C because while I ultimately chose E, I spent so much time just thinking about C, and I think it was because of the extra part that said moreover she suspects that we had a desirable tire collectors. So that immediately went back to not just for its value as an investment. So, I mean, ultimately that part of C ended up just not being important because she does like it. It's not that she doesn't like it. It says that she's highly attracted to its shape and color, which means I guess she likes it for its intrinsic qualities. But I just was thrown off by the part after moreover. So.
Yeah, I think that last part of C, it's going in the direction of the investment piece of this. And it's also talking about reasons why she should buy. It's saying documentation, which goes in the direction of confident of authenticity. I mean, maybe the documentation is questionable, who knows, but she likes the shape and color. So are those intrinsic qualities? I suppose so. And so that's saying, well, then she should buy it, but the application was saying she shouldn't. So it's kind of like the opposite of what we're looking for.